जरा पीछे। रेडी? आराधना हे धरा नारायणी तू सफल कर जन्मदाते वंदना धरा नारायणी तू सफल कर आराधना हे धरा नारायणी तू सफल कर आराधना सफल कर आराधना सफल कर आराधना
जोरदार टाळ्या होऊन जाऊ देत या मृदा वंदनेसाठी. यानंतरची जी प्रस्तुती आहे ती आहे सृष्टीनाद. आपण गोष्ट करतोय ती सगळी पर्यावरणाची. ही माती तेव्हा टिकेल जेव्हा ही झाडं जगतील, आपल्या नद्या खळखळतील, आपले डोंगर वाचतील. आणि ते सगळं करायचं असेल तेव्हा आपली साथ जरुरी आहे. आपल्या आयुष्यात थोडेफार बदल आपण केले तर निश्चितपणे होणारं हे जग, येणारं हे युग हे चांगलं होऊ शकेल. आणि त्याचाच नाद आत्ता आपण अनुभवणार आहोत, सृष्टीनाद. आणि तो आणतायत हे सगळे तबला वाजवणारे हे तबला वादक. हे शिष्य आहेत गुरु नितीन वारे आणि नितीन पवार यांचे. त्याच्यात आहेत नितीन पवार स्वतः, नितीन वारे स्वतः, अद्वय पवार, अथर्व वारे, सुजित काळे, कुणाल काळे, कल्याण पांडे, आशुतोष इप्पर. आणि त्यांना साथ देत आहेत हार्मोनियमवर आणि गायनावर पुष्कराज भागवत.
Hello, sound check. Hello. Little volume in the monitor. All the instruments and my vocals and harmonium in the monitor. Hello, sound check. Hello. Can you please give the level also outside and in the monitor? Can you please increase the level of all the tabla? We can't hear.
Sir,
All the levels of the tabla.
ये माइक बंद है, इसकी तरफ ध्यान दीजिए प्लीज. एक नंबर. एक नंबर का आवाज.
साऊंड कन्सोलच्या समोरची गर्दी जरा कमी झाली तर आमचं कोऑर्डिनेशन बेटर होईल. आय रिक्वेस्ट द व्हॉलेंटियर्स टू प्लीज गिव्ह अस अ वे टू द साऊंड कन्सोल.
Hi, both of you. You must write to the at least 30 prime ministers and presidents in the world. You choose your country, okay? Get it? Write an email and post it to them.
Save soil! Save soil!
We're riding from Bahrain, Manama to Abu Dhabi 930 kilometers, which means probably we'll have to ride the whole night, most probably a full night ride. But already sand, minute particles of sand is in every pore of my body. It's quite a job to get these things out. If you wear protective gear, it gets too hot. If you don't wear, sand particles are getting into me completely. I hope it doesn't get into my heart and make my heart into a desert. No such chance, don't fear that. Here we are in the Saudi desert, sand, sand and sand everywhere. How to make this soil? A lot of work. Safe soil, let's make it happen.
पुढचा आपण मल्हार दर्शनचा कार्यक्रम बघणार आहोत. जसं मी म्हटलं, हा कार्यक्रमच पर्यावरणाचा आहे आणि त्याच्यासाठी सगळी पेशकश जी आहे ती सुद्धा पर्यावरणाशी निगडीत आहे. थोडासा साऊंडचा इश्यू येतोय, मला माहिती आहे. मागे ऐकू येत आहेत का? आपण एक 2 मिनिट घेणार आहोत. मी साऊंड टीमला रिक्वेस्ट करते, प्लीज इथला आधी साऊंड लावा. तोच तर काही इन्स्ट्रक्शन्स द्यायच्या आहेत त्या मी आपल्यापर्यंत पोहोचवते. प्लीज मागचा साऊंड चेक करा. सद्गुरू काही वेळातच आपल्यामध्ये येत आहेत. सद्गुरू युजली इंग्लिशमध्ये बोलतात, पण आपल्याला त्यांचं मराठीत सुद्धा ऐकायचं आहे. त्याच्यासाठी आपल्या मोबाईल फोनवर FM रेडिओ 96.0 हर्ट्ज फ्रिक्वेन्सीला तुम्हाला ऐकता येईल. 96.0 या फ्रिक्वेन्सीला तुम्ही तुमचे मोबाईल रेडिओ ट्यून इन केले तर तुम्हाला सद्गुरूंचं जे भाषण आहे ते मराठीत सुद्धा ऐकू येणार आहे. त्यासाठी काय करा, तर आपल्या मोबाईल फोनवर FM रेडिओ ॲप शोधा आणि ते उघडा. त्यानंतर तुमचा इयरफोन मोबाईल फोन सॉकेटमध्ये अटकवा. आता FM रेडिओ फ्रिक्वेन्सी 96.0 हर्ट्जवर आणून ठेवा. जर तुमच्याकडे साधा फोन असेल तरीही तुम्ही FM रेडिओ उघडून 96.0 हर्ट्ज फ्रिक्वेन्सीवर जाऊन सद्गुरूंचे अनुवादित भाषण ऐकू शकाल. या प्रक्रियेत काही अडचण येत असल्यास जे स्वयंसेवक आपल्या आजूबाजूला उभे आहेत त्यांची तुम्ही मदत घेऊ शकता. मी परत एकदा रिपीट करते, 96.0 हर्ट्ज. आपण रेडिओ विश्वासची फ्रिक्वेन्सी नेहमी ऐकतो. रेडिओ विश्वास आपले रेडिओ पार्टनर आहेत, पण आता तुम्हाला सद्गुरूंचं ट्रान्सलेशन जे आहे ते 96.0 हर्ट्जवर तुम्हाला ऐकू येईल. याशिवाय देशदूतच्या सगळ्या सोशल मीडियावर www.deshdut.com पासून ते फेसबुक, इंस्टाग्राम, यूट्यूब आणि तसंच रेडिओ विश्वासच्या सगळ्या सोशल मीडियावर तुम्ही हा कार्यक्रम लाईव्ह पण बघू शकतात. हा कार्यक्रम लाईव्ह चाललेला आहे. घरी बसलेले जे सगळे लोक आहेत जे इथे येऊ शकलेले नाही आहेत ते हा कार्यक्रम देशदूतच्या आणि रेडिओ विश्वासच्या सोशल मीडियावरती निश्चित बघू शकतील. Sound check to the mic, please.
Hi, both of you. You must write to the at least 30 prime ministers and presidents in the world. You choose your country, okay? Get it? Write an email and post it to them.
Save soil! Save soil!
We're riding from Bahrain, Manama to Abu Dhabi 930 kilometers, which means probably we'll have to ride the whole night, most probably a full night ride. But already sand, minute particles of sand is in every pore of my body. It's quite a job to get these things out. If you wear protective gear, it gets too hot. If you don't wear, sand particles are getting into me completely. I hope it doesn't get into my heart and make my heart into a desert. No such chance, don't fear that. Here we are in the Saudi desert, sand, sand and sand everywhere. How to make this soil? A lot of work. Safe soil, let's make it happen.
गरजत आय वादल वादल री बादलवा बरसन को लागे बादलवा बरसन को लागे बादलवा बरसन बादलवा बरसन को लागे रे ननी ननी बूंदन गरज गरज चहुवार बिजुरी चमकत बादलवा बरसन लागे बादलवा बरसन को लागे बादलवा बरसन को लागे रे ननी ननी बूंदन गरज गरज चहुवार बिजुरी चमकत बादलवा बरसन लागे बादलवा बरसन को बरसन लागे बरसन लागे बादलवा बादलवा बरसन को लागे बादलवा बरसन को लागे बादलवा बरसन कोयलिया कूक सुनत कूक उठत छदिया छुवत कलना परत पिया बिना पिया 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 गर जय बादलवा बरसन लागे बादलवा बरसन को लागे बादलवा बरसन को बादलवा बरसन बादलवा बरसन को लागे ननी ननी बूंदन गरज गरज चहुवार बिजुरी चमक चमकत बादलवा बरसन लागे, बादलवा बरसन को लागे, बादलवा बरसन, बादलवा बरसन, बादलवा बरसन को लागे, बादलवा बरसन, बादलवा बरसन, कोयरिया कूक सुनत मूक बुडत छतिया छुअत गलना परत पिया बिना पिया 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 गरजे बादलवा बरसन लागे, बादलवा बरसन को लागे, बादलवा बरसन, बादलवा बरसन को बादलवा बरसन को लागे, बादलवा बरसन को लागे, बादलवा बरसन को लागे, बादलवा बरसन को लागे, बादलवा बरसन को लागे रे, नदी नदी भूतन गरज गरज जमुवार बिजुरी चमकत बादलवा बरसन लागे, बादलवा बरसन, बादलवा बरसन को लागे, बादलवा बरसन, बादलवा बरसन, बादलवा बरसन
त्यांच्या ग्रुपसाठी एकदा जोरदार टाळ्या होऊन जाऊ द्या. ही शेवटची प्रस्तुती आहे तराण्याची. फक्त आपण हा सगळा कार्यक्रम थोडा पुढे ओढला गेलाय म्हणून याची झलक फक्त 2 मिनिटं चालणार आहोत. साऊंड कन्सोल 2 मिनिटं झाल्यावर जिथे असेल तिथे तराना बंद करायचं. गॉट इट? येस, स्टार्ट, प्ले. प्ले तराणा. अ बिग राऊंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फॉर देम. त्यांना अर्ध्यातनं थांबवलेलं आहे आपण, कारण की आपल्याला संस्कृती हा ईशा फाउंडेशनचा कार्यक्रम बघायचा आहे. सो थँक्यू गर्ल्स अँड आय अपोलोजाइज की आम्ही तुम्हाला मधल्यातनं थांबवलेलं आहे. खरं डान्सर्सला वी डोंट स्टॉप डान्सेस इन बिटवीन. दॅट इज नॉट द प्रोटोकॉल. So can we
Project Samskriti is an endeavor to nurture and impart India's classical arts. Designed by Sadhguru, it offers programs to learn powerful chants, music, Bharatnatyam and Kalaripayattu, an ancient martial art form conducted by the rigorously trained students and alumni of Isha Samskriti. The art forms are imparted in their most profound form as possibilities for inner growth and transformation.
Project Samskriti is not today's idea, it's been in incubation for nearly 25 years. So this is an effort not to save the art form alone, but to bring up humanity to a higher level of existence within themselves.
Namaskaram. One with a heart of fire, draped in the rivers and oceans of the world, her hair of open sky, and her body the soil that we walk upon. Mother Earth, our source and sustenance. Time is ticking away. To build our lives, our comforts, our luxuries, we have ignored her call, her plea. As her children, we suffer the consequences of our actions. Time is ticking away. It's time to reinvigorate and celebrate this mother who has birthed us, fed us, and one who will embrace us into her bosom in our death. O Mother, in celebration of your grandeur, in concern for your well-being, in love with all that you are, we dance in tune to your rhythm as we are just a part of you.
beneath my feet, your soil. When you rise, you become a tree. Again, you fall as a leaf. Who are you? You come up as a crop. You give me life as food. Whether I am alive or dead, you are the only refuge. Who are you? You come as water. You come as milk. You come as honey. Who are you? If I eat, it is soil. If I breathe, it is soil. If I die, it is soil. Oh my mother, who are you? Soil. In the root, there is a stalk. In the stalk, there is branch. In the branch, leaves, bud, flower and fruit, all rooted in soil. That is not our making. The soil, the very soul of all life, shall neither perish nor is created, but in a constant turnaround. A tree and a termite hill, the rough hide of an elephant and the fine silk of the spider, the beasts that you kill and the people that you love, all a recycle of soil, soil and soil. The magic of soil is it turns death into life. Depleted soils will not quench the fire of hunger. Unquenched hunger can burn the very world. This is a generational responsibility. Save soil. Let's make it happen.
That was a wonderful performance indeed. So big round of applause for Samskriti and the cause that they bring forth. So now we move on to take a glimpse of a small video. We know that Sadhguru speaks of a conscious planet, and the Save Soil movement is an effort to save our planet and our soil. As occupants of this planet, we all share a very larger responsibility to keep this soil and the planet alive. To see this, we will now see the Science of Soil video.
We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions, and global warming and various other aspects, but we are not addressing soil. Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our populations will be 9.3 billion people. The food shortages that could manifest in the next 25 years, the consequences of that is unimaginable. Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. What we are facing now is soil extinction. Why is soil becoming extinct? Where is it going away? What is happening to our soil? We must understand, if you add organic content to sand, sand will turn into soil. If you remove all organic content from the soil, soil will become sand. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content should be between 3 to 6%. The most minimum is 3%. At least this minimum to keep the soil alive, to keep the soil as living soil is a must. Agricultural soils across the world, the depletion is so heavy, in most countries, more than 50% of the topsoil is already gone in the last 100 years. The nutrient levels have dropped significantly. The level of micronutrients you would get from your food in early 20th century to what you are getting from the same food now has dropped 90%. If you ate one orange in 1920s, what you got from it, now in 2020, if you have to get the same, you will have to eat 8 oranges. This is what we have done to our food.
Soil is the biggest ecosystem on the planet, and so few people know anything about it. 1 teaspoon of healthy soil probably contains more microbes than there are people on Earth.
The microbial life in the first 12 to 15 inches of topsoil is the basis of our existence. It is this magic beneath our feet which has produced the life that we are. This first 12 to 15 inches of soil is the basis of life for 87% of life on this planet, including you and me.
We have to begin to recognize that what we call our soil, Mother Earth, is a living organism.
Open soils, ripped open by ploughing, open to sunlight, is the basis of destruction of microbial life. So the focus should be on agriculture, the focus should be on seeing that land is under shade as much as possible, some kind of shade, grasses, herbs, bushes, trees. Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. We must change the narrative on the planet that soil is a wealth, a legacy we have received from previous generations, and we have to pass it on as living soil for future generations. We are in a cusp of time. If you do the right things now, in the next 15 to 25 years, we can significantly turn this situation around and regenerate the soil. But if we allow this to progress like this for another 30 to 40 years, after 40 years if we attempt this, then it could take 150 to 200 years because that much loss of biodiversity would have happened. From 21st of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. We must hear the word soil, save soil everywhere to see that the narrative on the planet changes towards the most vital aspect of our life, the soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can to make this happen. Many global leaders and influencers are already participating in the movement. Be a part of this and let us make it happen.
For my part, as much as I can contribute.
بالعربي أنقذ التربة لنفعل ذلك على أرض الواقع بمبادرات عملية وجادة ملموسة الأثر. أنقذ التربة save soil.
And the movement that you are taken up, I could not expect any more God's blessing than that.
Sadhguru, and this campaign is so important.
We're going to save the soil. Do your part.
And saving the soils
and our planet's future depend on it.
Sadhguru, save soil, my friend.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
Antigua and Barbuda is part of the Save Soil mission.
We commend you for what you're doing. That is why we are happy to sign the MOU.
The science and philosophy that backs the thought behind the movement is tremendous.
Save soil, let's make it happen.
Save the soil.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make this happen.
Let us make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
La le la le la le, la 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 le la le la le, la 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 le la le la le, la le la le la le, la la le la le la le, la le la le la le, la 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 la le la le la 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 la.
So dear Sadhguru, welcome to Nashik. Nashik welcomes you. Let's say save soil. We are very happy to have you here to a program organized by Deshdoot and Nashik District Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj jointly. We have been very fortunate that you bring to us the whole movement of Save Soil. I now request you to please come on the stage and grace the audience. I request Vikram Bhau and Nilimatai to please bring Sadhguru on stage. On behalf of Nashik, we would like to felicitate Sadhguru. So I request Janak Bhau to give him what we call as a tradition of Maharashtra. Maharashtra is known, Sadhguru, for the Maratha regime and the courage and valor of Maratha regime. So we present you the pagdi, which is the Peshwai pagdi depicting the Maratha regime. ही पगड़ी है, ही पैठणीची पगड़ी है. Yevla is famous for the Paithani, and now we present the Paithani Shela. Thank you so much, Sadhguru. And now we present the Paithani Shela. So Paithani is the weavers in Nashik district, particularly handloom sector. Nashik is also a city of flowers and the fragrance of Nashik. फुलांच्या नगरी मधनं सद्गुरूंना हा हार आणि हे एक छोटंसं गिफ्ट. Sadhguru, we present you the Pancha Tattva, the 5 elements. This is the water of Godavari. So this is the water of Godavari, the mitti, the air, everything. This is for you, Sadhguru.
But I'm riding a motorcycle, I'm not driving a truck.
That's fine, we'll carry it for you all the way to the ashram. We will be honored to do so. So it's now on to you. We are all eager to hear you.
Thank you so much. Want to say something, please?
No, I'm okay. नमस्कार नाशिककर. आपण एक भव्य सोहळ्याची अनुभूती घेत आहोत. नाशिकमध्ये ईशा फाउंडेशनचे सद्गुरू आले आहेत. ही खूप महत्त्वाची बाब आहे. एकदा पुन्हा टाळ्या वाजवूया. सद्गुरू नुसते आलेले नाही आहेत, तर माती वाचवा ह्या अतिशय महत्त्वाचा संदेश घेऊन आलेले आहेत. 26 देशांच्या मोटरसायकलवर प्रवास करत जगभरात माती वाचवा हा संदेश पसरवत ते फिरत आहेत. नाशिकमध्ये त्यांच्या ह्या कार्यक्रम होणे आपल्या सगळ्यांचा उत्साह वाढवणारी बाब आहे. Dearest Sadhguru, please accept our wholehearted welcome to our soil in Nashik. It is a big honor for us that on your world journey for Save Soil campaign to stop here and address our people. Nashik is one of the bigger districts in Maharashtra. It is unique for the reason that diversity and tradition of whole Maharashtra can be experienced in Nashik. This is one district which has diverse crop pattern through its climatic region and hence the diversity of living, yet it becomes typically of Nashik. So I say this is a unique place. Deshdut and Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj are very committed to organizing this event on the grounds of this educational institute, which is the largest education dissemination center in this district. Deshdut, as a media house, has also a wide presence across North Maharashtra. And both the organizations very well understand the fabric and pulse of living here. Nashik is predominantly an agricultural district. We grow everything from sugarcane, grapes, onions, pulses, vegetables to flowers. Our farmers are simple people who have been adapting themselves to the influences of crop pattern, market agencies, markets and consumers. However, I am proud to say that they are strong and ready to face the situation. We all understand the quality of soil is depleting. Our farmers are experiencing it every day. It is not only the farmers, but we consumers also are experiencing it in the form of quality and quantity of food. As you have been saying, it is time to act now. So we at Deshdut see this program as beginning for the action to be taken. As a media, we are aware of our role to educate and inform and be catalyst for the necessary change. Deshdut, being a 50-year-old newspaper, with the distinction of being a media of this soil, has always played its role very diligently. It has been a pioneer of sorts in many firsts that have contributed to a better change in the society of Nashik. Standing by the farmers movement was initiated at Deshdut. We have an umbilical cord attached with our readers in the rural agricultural region. While this is so, we are updated, technologically advanced media house. We are in the digital space, but maintain the values of journalism here too. As the modern world speaks of living in the metaverse, I, as a professional of AI, surely state that physical existence which relates to soil cannot be denied, and hence being rooted in all its senses is imperative. Your efforts in diverting the world's attention to this very crux and convincing all the need of the hour are immensely appreciated. We all know, but all we do is discuss. We need a Sadhguru to make it happen. So I am thankful to you for awakening all of us to ensure that our future generation can live better. Thank you once again for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janak Bhau. Sadhguru, I know this is against a little of the protocol to say a thank you earlier, but we know that once you speak, nobody else will be in a frame of mind to listen to anybody else. So a small thank you from Nilima Tai, breaking the protocol.
ज्यांच्या नावातच वासुदेव आहे ते आपल्या सगळ्यांचे सद्गुरू, ज्यांना ऐकण्यासाठी आपण सगळेजण चातकासारखी वाट बघतो आहोत. आपण त्यांना यूट्यूबवर ऐकतो आहोत, व्हॉट्सअपवर बघतो आहोत, पण आज प्रत्यक्षात आपल्याला त्यांना अनुभवायचं आहे. 3 वाजेपर्यंत आपल्या सगळ्यांना खूप टेन्शन होतं, पण वरुण राजाची सुद्धा आपल्यावर कृपा झालेली आहे. त्याचे मनापासून आपण आभार मानले पाहिजे. मी जग्गी वासुदेव सद्गुरूंचे मनापासून स्वागत करते, आपलं सगळ्यांचं पण स्वागत करते आणि आपले आभार मानून आपल्याला नमस्कार करून थांबते. धन्यवाद.
So over to you, Sadhguru.
कालो न जानाति तव जननम्, कालो न जानाति तव समापनम्, दृष्टो मया तव महाकारः योगेश्वर काल काल, योगेश्वर
Kala Kala. Namaskaram, namaskaram to everyone. Hey, I said namaskaram. Wow. Once you have come here as a human being, life got complicated. If you had come here like any other creature on this planet, stomach full, life settled. Once you have come as a human being, stomach empty, only one problem. Stomach full, 100 problems. What happened to the human being? Why have we become a suffering humanity and a very destructive humanity? What's our problem? Because in terms of evolution, we are the flower of evolution, we are the peak of evolution. In terms of all the heap of creatures, we are literally on top of the world. But most human beings are not feeling like top of the world. All the time, all kinds of suffering. As I said, for every other creature, stomach full means their life was settled. For you, stomach full, all the problems begin. The human problem is just this. You heard of Charles Darwin? That was a question. Oh. Some 152 years ago, Charles Darwin went about propounding his theory of evolution, and he said, you were all monkeys and then you became human. Not me, he said, okay? But for a goat to become a giraffe, it took some millions of years. For a pig to become an elephant, it took many more millions of years. But for a monkey to become man, it happened rather too quickly, that's what they say. Anthropologists believe there must be a missing link because it happened too quickly from monkey to man. I mean women also, okay? Because oh, he's only saying only men were monkeys, what about us? Everybody. So today, the genetic scientists say that the DNA difference between a chimpanzee and you is only 1.23%. Is 1.23% a great percentage? Hello? Is 1.23% a great percentage? You won't pass anything with 1.23%. But in terms of DNA or in terms of physiology, that's how close to a chimpanzee you are, just 1.23%. But in terms of intelligence, in terms of awareness, you are worlds apart from a chimpanzee. And this is your problem, that you have an intelligence for which you don't have a stable enough body. If you had a very stable body, instead of 1.23%, if it was 99% at least, then you did not have to do any yoga. See? If you come a million years later, maybe it will be so, but you're a little too early, I'm saying. You have an intelligence for which you don't have a stable enough body, so one important aspect of yoga is to create a stable platform so that your intelligence works for you. Right now, your own intelligence bothers you all the time. If you are with others, you may suffer other people, but if you're alone, you suffer yourself. Hello? Hello? Am I telling the truth about the people of Nashik also? So, why this has happened to us? That our intelligence has become a problem. Tell me, should intelligence be a solution or a problem? It should be a solution for everything. But unfortunately, most people have made a problem out of it. because nature offered you a certain level of cerebral capability. If I ask you a simple question now, you must say yes or no, because I'm going to bless you, those who are silent will get blessed just like that. Okay? Would you like your intelligence to be sharp or blunt? Sharp. So if you have a very sharp instrument in your hands, suppose you have a sharp knife in your hand, but your hand is not steady, it's like… well, your intestines will be out. Hello? Why we don't give a knife to a child's hand is not because the knife is dangerous, because a child doesn't have a steady hand and is not conscious enough, he may harm himself or he may harm somebody else. Right now, that's all that's happening to you. Compared to all the other creatures, you got the sharpest intelligence and you're hurting yourself and hurting everybody else and hurting the planet itself. If you had the brain of an earthworm, you would be very peaceful. Hello? And you would also be eco-friendly. Yes. But what to do, you got such a big brain. This is the greatest gift you have. But unfortunately, you're using the sharpness of your intelligence to poke yourself all the time, sitting, standing, suffering your own thoughts and emotions. Your thoughts and emotions must always serve you, isn't it? Hello? But right now they work against you, simply they bother you. You can call it stress, you can call it anxiety, you can call it depression, you can call it by 1,000 different names. But essentially it's a case of your intelligence turning against you. Once your intelligence turns against you, there is no force in the universe that can help you. So this is in relation to one's personal suffering, and it is also in relation to humanity as a whole going through whatever they are going through and whatever they are doing to themselves and to others around them. Right now, in terms of soil, we have done this to ourselves, that in the last 70 to 100 years' time, over 50% of the world's topsoil is gone. What topsoil means is, the first 15 to 18 inches of the soil, this is the cream of this planet. This has zillions of life forms within it. It is because of these life forms, all this microbial life, that you exist today, because 60% of your very body is microbial life. Apart from that, even in terms of evolution, we as a life, a complex life like this became possible only because of the microbial life in these 15 to 18 inches of soil. These 15 to 18 inches have zillions and zillions of lives, millions of species. A handful of soil could have 8 to 10 billion organisms, a handful of soil. That's how rich with life it is. It is the largest living system, not just on this planet, in the known universe, it is the largest living system. But nearly 50% or over 50% of the topsoil is gone. To create 1 inch of topsoil, it would take 600 to 800 years if there was no human footprint. At the present level of human footprint, at the present level of human activity, if you have to create 1 inch of topsoil, it would take 13,000 years. Does anybody have that kind of time here? Hello? 1 inch would take 13,000 years with the present level of human activity. So saving the soil that is right now still there on the planet is most vital, because otherwise we will driving the whole human populations towards famines. Famines are something that used to happen 70 to 80 years ago all across the world. Famine is the most terrible way for a human being to die, because it will take 3 to 4 months to slowly die. India has seen some debilitating famines in the past. In 1942, we had a famine which took 3.2 million people. 3.2 million people died in 4 months' time in a most painful way, because you don't die immediately, you die over 3 to 4 months slowly, till every ounce of flesh is eaten up. Slowly one dies. After so much infrastructure, so much technology, so much knowledge, so much education, if once again we drive towards a famine, there is simply no excuse for human beings. Hello? Never again we should drive towards famine, because the most horrendous things happen when there are famines. Already 2 nations in Africa are going towards famine this year. It is expected 6 to 7 nations will go towards severe famine. In these 2 nations which have already gone into famine situation, they are talking about 350,000 children may die in the next 6 months' time. It's still happening, already happening. When will it come to us is the only question, because every responsible scientist is clearly pointing out that by 2045, we will be producing 40% less food, and our populations will be over 9.2 billion people. That is not a world you want to live in. That is definitely not a world where you want to leave your children and go. You want your children to live better than you. Am I assuming wrong? This is not a philosophy, this is not an ideology, this is not a religion, this is not morality. Something intrinsic to you, your humanity desires that your children should live better than you. But right now what we are doing is just this, the fundamentals or the foundations for good life for future generations, we are taking it away. Whether individual people live well or not are subject to many realities and their own will, but if there is no rich soil, nutritious food, clean water, pure air to breathe, if these things are removed from the world, we have removed the basic foundations of good life, and that's exactly what we are doing for future generations right now. But as a generation, we have this opportunity that in the next 10 to 15 years' time, we can make a significant turnaround. It is very much possible to do this, but if we allow this to go for another 25 to 40 years' time, after 40 years, even if we want to revive the soil, we will not be able to revive the soil, because the loss of biodiversity is happening at such a pace. On an average, according to UNFAO, the number of species of organisms that are going extinct per year are 27,000. Yes, you heard it right. It is 27,000 species are going extinct per year. At this rate, it is sliding down. Somewhere in the next 25 to 40 years, it could start tumbling down. Once it begins to tumble, there's really nothing we can do. When it is sliding down, we can stop the slide and we can also push it up. It's very much possible with concerted effort, with the needed policy in the government. I'm insisting on policy because if you do something good, I do something good, it's not good enough right now. Because it has to come into the policy, because there is no policy as to how agriculture soil should be maintained. We need to understand that soil is not our property. It's come to us from previous generations. We must pass it on as a living soil for future generations. This is a fundamental responsibility. See, for example, in this city, I'm not familiar with your city, is there an old part of Nashik somewhere? If you go to the old part of Nashik, I have not seen that place, but this is true with almost every old city, houses would be built wall to wall without a concept of a window. You have such places. But today, if you want to build a building in this city, if you have 10,000 square feet of land, you cannot build 10,000 square feet. They will allow you to build 6, 7, 8, whatever number of square feet. You have to allow some space for yourself, your neighbor. That's a must. If you build more, they will demolish it. But if you have 100 acres of land, you can plow every inch of the land, and in 10-15 years you can make a total desert out of it, but nobody will ask you, why have you done this? Because there are no laws to tell you. So all we're asking from the governments across the world is to make it mandatory by giving strong incentives that every farmer, if he wants to own agricultural land, there must be a minimum of 3 to 6% organic content. Minimum most is 3%. According to UN agencies, to call soil as soil, there must be minimum 3% organic content, at least that much. 3% organic content means it is kind of a famine diet for the microbes. At least they will stay alive. The species will not start going extinct as they're going, so they need to eat, and they can only eat organic content. And organic content, I want all of you to get this because there are lots of young people, they keep on telling me, Sadhguru, my friend has come up with an app, it can fix everything. Well, I think you are the Swiggy population. You think food comes from Swiggy? No, Swiggy may deliver it to you or some other app may deliver it to you, but somebody has to cook it, somebody has to grow it, and it's always grown on land, just for your information. No food is coming from Moon or Mars, it's always grown on the topsoil of this planet, nowhere else, because there is no substitute for soil. There is simply no substitute for soil. The magic of soil is such that even if you sow death, it sprouts life. This is the nature of soil. Everything that you know as life, this tree is soil. If you've seen a worm is soil, an insect is soil, a bird is soil, an elephant is soil, you and me are soil. Just everything that you have seen as life around you, all coming out of soil. We come from soil, we thrive upon soil. When we die, we go back to the soil. The only question is, will we realize this now, or will we realize this only when we are buried? When shall we realize this? That is 3.5 people. Oh. Now that you're raising your voice, I think I can tell you a story. Can I tell you a story? See, I've been talking about soil for last 30 years. And whenever I speak about this to various ministries, bureaucrats, leaders, some heads of state, everybody says, Sadhguru, this is great, what you're saying is very beautiful, this is really fantastic what you're doing, and they'll go to sleep. Are you also that kind? So, you must understand this. Let me tell you a story. This happened once upon a time. Come on, you can't tell a story to this kind of people. When I say once upon a time, if I say once upon a time, you say, Once upon a time, Shankaran Pillai had 3 children. He had 3 sons. One day he called them and said, you good-for-nothing fellows, you must do something good in your life. The 3 boys asked, Father, what is good? Am I getting the pronunciation right? We don't know what is good. How do we do good, Father? You good for nothing, you must do good things. But Father, we do not know what are good things. Then he said, go do something good, go out and do something good. Just help one old lady to cross the street, something like that, do something. So the boys left. In the evening they came back. The eldest one came and Shankaran Pillai asked, "Did you do something good today?" The boy said, "Yes, Father, as you said, I helped an old lady to cross the street." "That is very wonderful, my boy." After some time, the second one came. "Did you do something good?" "Yes, Father, as you said, I also helped an old lady to cross the street." "Oh, you also got an old lady to cross the street?" He asked my third boy came and he asked him, "What did you do? Did you do something good?" The third boy said, "I helped an old lady to cross the street." Shankaran Pillai said, "What? All three of you found an old lady to help her to cross the street? There were three old ladies like that?" No, Father, not just three of us, even our cousin Ramu also we invited. Together we helped one old lady to cross the street. You fools, good-for-nothing fellows, you need 4 people to help an old lady to cross the street? Oh, Father, you don't know, these old ladies are so stubborn, she wouldn't cross. You can't help somebody who doesn't want to be helped, hello? It's very important, as a generation of people, we need to understand this, because everybody is thinking, what I saw was, in the last 2.5 years, I've been meeting so many agricultural ministries, environment ministries all over the world. As I spoke to them, bureaucrats, ministers, responsible people, scientists, everybody seems to know the problem. Everybody knows the general direction of the solution. Everybody knows the problem, everybody knows the solution. How come nothing is happening? When I thought about it, I realized they're all just waiting for an idiot to come and bell the cat. So here I am. You're clapping at all my problems, huh? So this is the whole problem. We think somebody else will do it. I want you to know there is nobody else, just you and me. Hello? There is nobody else. Nobody else is going to come from somewhere and fix our problems. This is our time on the planet, and it's a brief amount of time. If we do not do what matters to our lives and future lives, we will be a disastrous life. It's my wish that we should not become such a disaster. What do you say? We are not going to become a disastrous life. We definitely have a massive challenge in front of us. At the same time, we have a tremendous privilege that we are in that cusp of time, that if we act now, in the next 10 to 15 years, we can make a significant difference. And we can be that generation which turned back from the brink of a disaster, not a generation that walked into the disaster. If we walk into this disaster, that scientists are describing as soil extinction. The word extinction normally we use in association with dinosaurs and dodos, but now we are talking about soil extinction. If we move towards soil extinction, if we walk into that disaster, most of us here will not come out of it. That is the kind of disaster it is. Once food shortages happen, civilizations will collapse. Our very humanity will evaporate within a few days. I want you to just visualize and imagine this. In this city of Nashik, what's your population, huh? What? 25 lakhs, oh. You are a lot of people, In this city, if 40% of the people have not eaten anything for 3 days, do you think you can live in this place even if you have food at home? Hello? all pretensions of civilization will just vanish in 3 days' time if people have not eaten for 3 days. Terrible things will happen. This is not to paint a dark picture. This is to act now so that we don't move towards such situations. There are two ways to handle life. One is to mitigate the possible disasters before they happen. Another is walk into it and then grieve over it. Why I am saying this is because humanity has again and again walked into the same disasters, and after it is over, we all cry about it. World War I happened, terrible things happened, and everybody made up their minds, never again we are going to fight, enough is enough. In Europe, where World War I happened, within 25 years, number 2 happened. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying World War II happened. And it was worse, many-fold worse than number 1 World War or First World War. And after that we said we were never going to fight again and we formed United Nations and this and that. Since then, how many wars? How many nations have been destroyed? How many millions of people have been killed? Still going on. And now we are talking about World War III as if it's a natural progression. If we fight 2 world wars, 3rd must happen. Number 1, 2, 3 must happen, right? Hello? For the kind of destructive capability we have, if we go into the 3rd World War, I don't know how many of us will come out of it alive, even if we are not a fighting force. Because the disruptions that will happen in the world will be such. Right now, 1 war in 1 country, already 6 nations are going into famine. If a world war happens now, with the kind of population that we have, I want you to understand, in the beginning of 20th century, we had only 1.6 billion people on the planet and 330 million in this country when we got independence in 1947. But today we are nearly 8 billion people. In the country we are 130 crore people, that means 1.3 billion people. With this population, if any disruption happens, more than the war, the famines will kill 10 times more than the bombs and bullets. And bombs and bullets will be will be compassion compared to starvation deaths that happen in the world. So why am I coming and telling you these ugly things to you? Because we have created a situation that can lead to something very ugly if we don't act now. If we act now, we can turn this around. Action needs not that you go home and fix your kitchen garden today, that is very cute of you, but that is not a solution. We must understand, nearly 71% of the world's land is plowed, that is, it is under agriculture. 4.2% of the world's land is paved because it's urban lands. So nearly 76% of land is either plowed or paved. What does this mean? Approximately 1 billion years ago, it seems, one very smart algae or a fungi came up with this brilliant idea that they could cook their food using the perpetual energy of the sun. That phenomena today we call as photosynthesis. Before photosynthesis started on this planet, the oxygen level in this atmosphere was just a little over 1%. Today it is 21%. Only because it's 21%, a life like this has evolved. Complex life forms happened on this planet, and even right now we are breathing only because it's 21% oxygen. Last 2 years, even with mask on, you've been breathing because it's 21% oxygen. But in the last 1,000 years, we have removed 85% of the photosynthesis on the planet because land is largely plowed or paved. What is our plan? really. 67% of the vertebrate life on the planet has disappeared in the last 70 years. 82% of the biomass insects have disappeared in the last 70 years. 92% of freshwater aquatic life has disappeared in the last 70 years. What is our plan for this planet and for ourselves and for future generations? What is our plan? Somewhere we think, if I have enough money in the bank, if I have gold in my house, I will be safe. There is no such thing. Once there are food shortages, your money, your gold, your wealth, your education, nothing will mean anything. We need to fix this, and it's possible to do it. As citizens of a democratic nation, the simplest thing that you can do is raise your voice and keep it raised till the needed policies happen in your state and in the country. Because the central government does not have any geography of its own, it is all in the state government. Center will recommend, but states will have to promulgate their own laws, there'll be budgets involved and all this, so it needs people's support. Why it needs people's support is, in a democratic nation, we give a term of 5 years for the government. How will any government act upon things which will take 15 to 20 years to bear results, when their term is only 5 years? Even if you happen to be a minister or a chief minister or a prime minister of this country, if you were given an opportunity, would you try to do things within the 5 years? Or would you attempt doing things which will produce results in 15, 20 years? Naturally within 5 years, and that's all that's happening. Unless people give a mandate. First of all, we must understand, governments are not elected to do something fantastic. Governments are elected to fulfill people's mandate. But where is the mandate for long-term well-being of this nation? Have people ever spoken for long-term well-being of this nation? Have people ever spoken for the future of their children? No, they're only asking for 2 rupees discount in the petrol prices, they may get it. They ask for 1% discount in their income tax, they may get it. But when has a population anywhere in the world, 60% of the adult population stood up and expressed their concern for long-term well-being of their nation and future generations? When have they done it? They have never done it. So you can't blame the governments because people have never expressed this. So we must understand, this is not an agitation, this is not a protest, this is not an expression of our anger or resentment, this is an expression of our love and responsibility for the life that we are and the life that's around us and the life that should be beyond us. Should life be beyond us? There are many young people who call themselves Generation Z. That scares me. That sounds like the last generation. Z, please drop Z and do something, call yourself AB. So, the simple thing is just this, that people should express their concern and give this mandate to the government. Till now, today is probably 82nd or 83rd day, I've lost the number of days. Somebody else should compute this for me, somewhere around 80 days. 25,406 kilometers to Nashik. Right now my motorcycle is reading that. "74 nations and 4 states in India have signed up for safe soil policy. Over 2.7 billion people have spoken about soil since 21st of March. Never before has anything like this happened. So, to raise the voice and to keep it raised for some more time till policies happen. On the way, I covered 27 nations, but above all, I was at COP15 in Ivory Coast, where 197 parties, including European Union, CARICOM and Commonwealth nations, African Union and South American nations were all there. The Save Soil policy has reached all of them. It is all in consideration in all these nations. Most nations will anyway go for it. We are very sure of that now, with 2.7 billion people speaking. But I want 4 billion people. Hello? Now people of Nashik, will you do it for me? Deshdoot can easily do it for me? Or do you want me to endlessly ride like a crazy man? This many people, and you even have smart companions these days. No, I'm not talking about your wife or husband or your friend, I'm talking about your phone. Hello? You have such a smart companion in your pocket, you must do incredible things, because what you have in your hands today is a powerhouse. Sitting at home, you can talk to the entire world. When was this ever possible? In the history of humanity, this is the first time that you can sit at home and you can talk to the entire world. Never before such a thing was possible. Many great beings have come in this world, but when they spoke, hardly 10 people could hear them. This is the first time that you have a privilege like this. Will you use your smartphone just to send silly messages, or will you do something wonderful with that? This is the question I'm asking you. You must use this powerhouse and manifest what is good for us, what is good for life, what is good for future generations. As human beings, we have found so many ways to divide ourselves. Our nationality, race, religion, caste, creed, all kinds of things. How we can be different from each other, how we can confront each other, how we can engineer a conflict among ourselves. We have become such experts. When we have a situation like this, is it not very important that we find a common denominator among ourselves? If you do not understand what is this universal consciousness which unifies everything, at least you understand this much. All of us come from the soil, thrive on the soil. When we die, we go back to the soil. Well, this happened. It's a story. Come on. Once upon a time. No. There was a potato farmer. I forget the name, he was saying, you grow everything in Nashik. Do you grow potatoes? So, potato farmer one day wanted to eat mangoes, and he went in search of a mango tree, and he found a mango tree. But out of sheer habit, being a potato farmer, he started digging the ground for mangoes. When he found no mangoes, he became furious and dug furiously. After some time, the tree came down upon him. This is the story of humanity right now. This is what human beings are doing. In search of human happiness, in search of human well-being, we are trying to turn the planet upside down. Right now, do you see me? Hello, all of you. Even if you're not listening, do you see me? Use one hand and point out where I am. Where am I? Hey, don't show like that, what is that? I'm not there. Where am I? Yeah, you got it all wrong. You know, I'm a mystic from southern India. Right now, this light is falling upon me, reflecting, going through your lenses, inverted image in the retina, you know the whole story? So where do you see me right now? Within yourself. Where do you hear me right now? Within yourself. Where have you seen the whole world? Within yourself. Where did pain and pleasure happen to you? Within yourself. Where did joy and misery happen to you? Within yourself. Where did agony and ecstasy happen to you? Within yourself. Anything that ever happened to you happened only within you. Or in other words, human experience is manufactured within you. What is manufactured within you, instead of manufacturing it the way you want it, you're trying to fix the whole world in search of human happiness. This is the basis of all the destruction. If human beings do not know how to be joyful, peaceful, blissful within themselves, somebody was saying that if you go some 1,000 or 1,000,000 light years away, it seems there are 300 planets which are just like planet Earth, some of them 10 times larger than planet Earth, and we can go there and live well in case this planet goes fut. I said, see, as long as you're in search of your happiness, as long as you're in pursuit of your happiness, if we find 8 billion planets and give one to each one of you, within 100 years you will destroy it anyway. Because if you are trying to extract happiness from the world, you will destroy it because you will be like a potato farmer who is digging the ground for mangoes. You will not find mangoes there, so you will dig till the tree comes down. This is all that's happening. If your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. You want it? Those of you who didn't say anything, I'm blessing you. Once again, I'll give you a second chance. Pleasantness of the body is called health. You want it? That's better. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it pleasure. If your mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call this joy. If your emotions become pleasant, we call this love. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If your very life energies become pleasant, we call this blissfulness. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, we call this success. Wait. That one thing you must wait, because to create pleasantness in your surroundings, you need the cooperation of the times in which you exist, people who live around you, the forces that are functioning around you. There are many things which has to fall together to create pleasantness of your surrounding. But to create pleasantness of the body, pleasantness of the mind, pleasantness of the emotion, pleasantness of your life energies, it is 100% your business. Hello? It is 100% your business. If you are here right now, joyful by your own nature, not because of something, then you would be doing what is needed. Have you noticed on a particular day when you're very happy, how wonderful a person you are? That one day, I mean. Hello? Have you been like that at least one day? You were so happy, you are so wonderful to yourself and to everybody because you're happy. And when you are happy, have you noticed 24 hours, poof, passed off like a moment. You had such a day? Another day you're like this. 24 hours feels like 10,000 years. Have you noticed that? That also you had? Oh So, only miserable people can have a long life. If you're joyful, it gets over before you know what is happening. If you live an exuberant and inspired life, before you know what is happening, it'll be funeral time. But if you're miserable, It's a very long life. I was riding to Bucharest and we were supposed to get there by 7 o'clock in the evening, and there was a television interview. But because of road conditions and weather, extreme weather, I reached there around 11:15, but the television anchor and the team was still waiting. So I walked straight in. I had ridden for 9.5 hours. And I went straight into the interview and 1.5 hours this interview went on. So this anchor, after it's over, he's saying, "At this age, how do you do this? 9.5 hours you've been on the motorcycle, you come and speak for 1.5 hours and you're still fine, not in a rush to go anywhere?" And he 3 times said, "At this stage, at this stage." I didn't like it. Hello? So even today from morning 10 o'clock we've been riding, we reached Nashik at 5 o'clock and I'm here at 6 o'clock. So, I said, see, I've lived my life so intensely, I never had the time to get old. You need lot of time to get old, isn't it? You have to sit there and think yourself into old age. Otherwise, where is the time to get old? You live and one day you die. That's how life should be. Hello? Or you want to die slowly? No, that's a bad way to die. You're on and you die. That's good. Hello? Hey, you're all very nice, huh? Let me tell you a story, because you're being so nice. It's not once upon a time. Just some time ago, or you can say it's once upon a time. What would you think, if it's once upon a time, how many years would you think? 50 years is once upon a time? 60 years is once upon a time? Okay. So approximately 60 years ago, I had a great-grandmother. She just wouldn't die. She died at 113, 113 years of age. She lost her husband when she was in her 60s. After that, she buried some of her children, some grandchildren, 1 or 2 great-grandchildren, but she wouldn't die. And she would laugh. If she laughed, it would shake the street. Like that, she would let off a hoot of laughter. Those days, in the society, women were not supposed to laugh loudly. Even now, you're not laughing, ladies? Hello? Still not laughing? You laugh. I'm not hearing anything. So, women were not supposed to laugh loudly. I really pity not the ladies, the men. How did they live with women who could not laugh? How do you go back to your home where there is no laughter? But my great-grandmother, if she laughs, the whole street will shake. Like that she will laugh and she won't die. She crossed 100, people thought, okay, this year she's going to die, next year she's going to die, next year she's going to die. She just doesn't die. So people said, she's a devil of a woman because she laughs so loudly and she doesn't die. When she was 67 or 68 years of age, after her husband passed away, she moved out to an agricultural land and built a temple for herself. For herself. No other deity there, she sits. So people further confirm she's a devil of a woman. But a whole lot of people would come to her just to meet her. She wouldn't give them anything, nothing. She just sits there and she laughs. People come and gather in hundreds just to see her and meet her. And my encounters with her is only during the summer vacation when we were spending 30-40 days in my ancestral home. So some of the things that I saw her deeply impacted me, not at that time, much later on. So I was 4.5, 5 years of age. So in the morning, if they give her breakfast, first she will take it and feed the ants, sparrows, squirrels. More than 60% of the breakfast would be gone. Of course, there were self-appointed advisors who would say, "You old woman, you're throwing away all your food, you will die like this." They all died. All advisors, they all died. She lived. And she would be sitting there and watching these ants eating the food, tears would be streaming down her cheeks. She would be just sitting there, and when people said, "Why don't you eat?" she would say, "I'm full," looking at the ants eating. I did not understand what she was doing. I was 4.5, 5 years age. As far as I'm concerned, ants means they always, we're wearing shorts, they always go up my legs and cause me jump all over the place. So my experience of ants is I want to exterminate them. She never stopped me from doing what I had to do, but she would sit there and shed tears. And when I asked one day, "What are you so emotional about these ants?" she just let out a hoot of laughter and said, "One day you will know." It took me over 20 years to know what it means to be connected with life like that. This is what yoga means. To experience everything as yourself, to be nourished by life. People continuously, just about every town I go to, first thing they ask is, "Sadhguru, where do you get this energy?" I say, this is a living cosmos. Is somebody stopping you? Is state government put a meter on the cosmic energy for you? Is somebody stopping you except yourself? No, you made yourself like a concrete block. If you're a real concrete block, at least you must plug these two holes and try. Hello? You are breathing, are you, everybody? Some of you are not saying anything. This is risky. Are you breathing? You must clearly say yes to yourself, not to me, because one day you shall not be breathing. Somebody will check like this and they say, "Hello?" It'll happen, one day you will not be breathing. Today we're breathing, we're alive. Is this the most important thing? This is the most important thing, because one day when this stops breathing, have you been to a funeral, have you seen some dead body? All of you have. That guy is like this. Hello, you've seen man, he always perfect position, he's like this. You go and tell him, "I have got 10 crores cash for you." He won't say anything. You say, "I have a mountain of gold for you. I have got you the most beautiful woman." Whatever. Because this is what your life is about. Once life is taken out of this, none of the nonsense matters. Hello? Because the only thing that you have is life. But right now, you are busy manufacturing your own world in your head, not even… these days not even in your head, it's on the phone screen. It's important that you must experience the life process. If you experience the life process, you would naturally be conscious of breath. Being conscious of breath means you're becoming one with the atmosphere. Hello? What you exhale, the trees are inhaling. What the trees exhale, you're inhaling. One half of your lungs are hanging out there, but you are not able to feel it. The day you feel it, do I have to tell you, don't cut this tree, do this, do that nonsense? You would anyway know what to do. When you eat your food, you're becoming one with the soil that you eat. that you walk upon, yes? So every day you are also doing yoga, because the word yoga means union, not twisting and turning. Yoga does not mean twisting and turning and looking like a leftover noodle. Yoga means you're plugged in to existence, because you cannot exist here for one moment without being plugged in to the creation and the source of creation, but unconscious. So if you're plugged in to creation, will you run out of energy? I'm asking you. Do I look like I'm going to die on the 82nd day? Hello? Everybody said, Sadhguru, don't do this, Sadhguru. Nobody can do this 100 days non-stop riding. And this is the… as I said, this is the 534th event in these 82 days. This is a suicide mission as far as others are concerned. But don't worry, I won't die. Not in these 100 days. I will die one day. Don't get alarmed. Oh, you're never going to die, Sadhguru? No, I will die, but not in these 100 days. This is very important. This is what yoga means. This is what this culture is about. This is what this land is about. That you don't live as an individual nonsense. You live as a universal existence. This is yoga. Every human being should live like this, connected to everything around. Then who has to tell you, save soil, save this nonsense, save that nonsense? All that would not be necessary. But right now it's necessary. Will you keep your voices up for next few months? Not one day shouting when I'm here, really keeping it up so that the policies are formed. As I said, 74 nations have signed up. 4 states that we have passed through, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, all of them are 100%. We are sure the same will happen with Maharashtra government. But the governments can commit, but without people's mandate, they cannot do it. People's mandate is needed. Will you get me 60% of the adult Marathis to speak about soil? Express your concern about soil. This is very important because this is our life, this is the life of our children, this is the life of future. Life does not mean just us, there are zillions of other lives. Only if all of them thrive, we thrive. Let me put it this way for you. See, tomorrow morning if all the insects on this planet die, within 4.5 to 6 years, life on this planet will come to an end, including you and me. If all the worms die, in 2.5 to 4 years' time, all life will come to an end, including you and me. If all the microbes die, it will end right now. But if all the human beings die, the planet will flourish. So let us not misunderstand as to who we are. Let us not overemphasize our significance of who we are. We are a consequence of every other life. They are not a consequence of us. Without us, they can exist. Without them, we cannot exist. This is the reality of our existence. Though I just was about to sing a lullaby to you. Hello? What, you want a lullaby, you'll fall asleep right here? Because you're staying awake and staying alert, let me tell you another story. This happened in 2060. When did it happen? 2060. A few scientists sought an appointment with God and they got the appointment. They went there and told him, "Hey man, you've done really well with creation, you've done a great job, but everything that you can do, we can also do now, so it's time you retire." God said, "Oh, is that so? What is it that you can do?" They dug up some soil, made a vague image of a human child and did all kinds of things. In a few minutes, the child came alive. God said, "This is very impressive, but first get your own soil." There is no substitute for soil. There is no such material anywhere in the known universe. These 15 to 18 inches of topsoil, there isn't a magic like that anywhere in the known universe. If we do not protect this, if we do not keep it alive for ourselves and future generations, we will be committing the greatest crime that humanity can ever commit. Thank you very much for being here. Stay with this is not my movement, this is not just my planet, this is our planet. Let's make it happen, save soil, let's make it happen. Let me hear it, 1, 2, 3, save soil. Let us make it happen. Now. Shall we sing the soil anthem? La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
This very body is soil. My body, your body, everybody is just soil body.
What song? You can wait, no? You can wait.
The magic of soil is it turns death into life.
I'm not seeing anybody dancing, what?
Depleted soils will not quench the fire of hunger. Unquenched hunger can burn the very world. This is a generational responsibility. Save soil. Let's make it happen.
la 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 la
la la.